Hello, Falcons. I'm back with Bob by Wendy Moss and Rebecca Stead. Today we are going to be reading chapter 15, and this chapter is told from Livy's point of view. Sarah's restaurant is full of worried people and worried voices. A man and a woman stand together over a table sketching and labeling maps on paper tablecloths. Everett's paddock, the bush behind Callan's place, horse paddock east, horse paddock west, and underneath they're writing people's names. I look around for Sarah, her mom, or her grandpa, but they aren't there. I don't know anyone here. I squeeze the pawn in my hand and tell myself, Bob, don't forget Bob. I didn't even have a chance to tell him where we are going. When I ran downstairs, Gran was hanging up her yellow kitchen phone. She said, "Get your shoes on, honey." "I'm wearing them," I said, pointing to my sandals. "No, your sneakers." By the time I found them, Gran was already out the door and I had to run to catch up. "Danny is missing," she told me, starting the car. "He never came home for lunch. Don't worry yet." She tried to give me a quick smile. "He does this from time to time, but the town is organizing a search." Gran and I are at the restaurant to help. "This is Sarah's Aunt Deidre," Gran says quickly, "and her husband Malcolm." She turns to them. "What can we do?" Deidre scans the paper. "You okay with walking the northeast quadrant of the bush behind Callan's place?" She points to one of her sketches. "From the sheep fence up to the road? I know it's a lot, but there's so much ground to cover." "Of course," Gran says. "We'll go right now." Malcolm presses a little paper bag into Gran's hand and another one into mine. "The restaurant's phone number is in there in case you have something to tell us, and some snacks and water. It's hot. Don't forget to hydrate." Gran nods and feels for my hand without looking at me, and then we are out the door and into the sunlight again. My goodness, that was the end of chapter 15. I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 16 then too, and we're going to switch from Livy to Bob now. I peck and sidestep my way down the dirt road that leads from Gran's farmhouse to Sarah's farmhouse next door. If her grandpa is home with a little boy, it will be harder to sneak in, but I have fooled them before, so my confidence is high. Well, high-ish. 3 cars and a tractor pass me on the road, and I cough from the dirt their wheels send up. I leap into the tall brown grass on the side of the road each time I hear one coming. Now I am dirty and scratched up by the pointy grass. I do not look my best. I've never been this far from the house before. It's scary but kind of exciting too. I'm like the great explorers of the old days setting out on new adventures, discovering faraway lands. Except I can still see Livy's bedroom window from here. I must say, I have excellent eyesight. I peck and sidestep a few more minutes, but it's slow going this way. I decide to run because chickens can run. I am not even out of breath when I reach the farmhouse. Not to brag, it's just a fact. I'm learning all sorts of things about myself on this journey already. The farmhouse is bigger than Gran's, but the wood is painted a lime green that I find a bit off-putting. Some of the grass in the front yard is scorched. They must have had a small fire. Gran's always worrying about fires in the bush during a long drought like this one. I guess it can happen on farms, too. Scary. The house seems fine, though. I crouch in the tall grass across the street, and with my really good vision, I scope out the place. One should always scope out one's surroundings before sneaking in. Gran watches a lot of detective shows, so I know a lot about stakeouts. This is what I see. Driveway, 1 brown truck, 1 white car with a thick blue stripe down the side. The white car is very dirty. White is not a sensible color in hot, dusty environments. Front lawn, a folding table with a round-shaped bald man in a folding chair behind it. The man wears a blue outfit with a badge on his chest and is handing a map to a lady and 2 boys a few years younger than Livy, both in shorts and round hats that are too big for them. The man in blue is a policeman. Why is a policeman sitting outside Sarah's house? He is not selling lemonade. I shrink farther back into the bush and peek out between the reeds. I don't want to be spotted by the long arm of the law. When I am certain there is no one else around, I sneak up the driveway, being sure to keep on the far side of the parked cars. The policeman doesn't even look up from his notebook. I'm that good. I keep going around the side of the house, past the chickens in their coop. They cluck and eye me suspiciously. I am unliked by chickens everywhere. don't seem convinced that I am one of them. In my current sorry state, I don't blame them. The fields of Sarah's house are in even worse condition than Gran's. Most of the ground is bare, with only a few wilted sunflowers here and there. I hurry past a sad-looking cow who is too busy flicking flies away from her ears to pay me any attention. Their kitchen door is where ours is, so I expect it to be unlocked, like ours is. But when I reach up to turn the knob, I discover my luck has run out. Then I notice a square cut out of the bottom of the door. A thin plastic flap hangs in front with a picture of a dog bone printed on it. I'm going to have to crawl through a door clearly made for a dog. This is not one of my finer moments. I am glad Livy is not here to watch. I suck in my belly and wiggle headfirst through the hole and onto the hard kitchen floor. At least there's no dog snarling down at me. I use the shiny surface of the oven to adjust my chicken outfit and to dust off the worst of the patches of dirt I've brought in with me. The kitchen looks like someone is left in a big hurry. Cabinets hang open and a half-eaten meal sits out on the table. I can hear the policeman outside talking on the phone, so there's no time to spare. Still, I do manage to finish a cheese sandwich that only had one bite taken out of it. Keeping up one's strength is very important when on a mission like this, and I will need enough energy to make it back to our house. May as well take the ham slice, too. I wash down the ham slice with a glass of milk as I bound up the stairs 2 at a time. I find Sarah's room easily because of the red sweatshirt in the middle of the floor. Also, it says Sarah's room in multicolored letters on the door. I open the drawers and push aside the clothes hanging in her wardrobe, spotting other books, but not the right one. I feel slightly guilty for invading her privacy, but this wouldn't be necessary if she'd just returned the book when she was finished with it. I sit on the floor and lean back against the back of the bed and think, if it's not here, then where? I stare out into the hallway and my eyes wander across the hall to Sarah's little brother's room. I jump up. Danny! He had a book with him that day at the well. I wasn't paying close attention at the time, but there were definitely a collection of drawings decorating the cover, and it was a big book just like the one in the photograph. He could have taken it from Sarah's room, or maybe Sarah had meant to return it to Livy and he found it. Or I could be totally wrong and it was a different book with him at Granswell, and Sarah lost the fairy tale book years ago or returned it to the public library by mistake. Gran did that once. I heard her on the phone trying to get it back. His room is even messier than his sister's. Frankly, I'm surprised their mother lets them get away with this. I repeat the lifting and opening and looking under things. Then I glance up at the wall above the bed and see something that stops me in my track. It's a painting of a well, like the one in Gran's yard, only this one has a trickling creek running past it and a weird tree beside it, and it's made of brick instead of stone. I climb on the bed and stand in front of the picture to get a better look. The paint is still slightly wet in places. Other than the wonky tree, I can't see anything too special about the painting. But just as I'm about to hop off to continue my search for the book, I spot a detail that makes me lean so close to the painting that my nose comes away with a dab of blue sky on it. On the far side of the well, something is climbing out. Something with 4 long green fingers that grip the side of the brick well. A shiver and a kind of numb feeling begins in my face and extends down to my toes when I spot the small words painted across the bottom of the well. Please help us, well dweller. That is the end of chapter 16. So 2 chapters for the price of 1 today, boys and girls. I hope you enjoy the story today and are looking forward to the next installment. Until next time.